So I was sitting here thinking, looking at my shirt, because it says, "How you gonna grow when you ain't right within?" And the Lauryn Hill song or whatever. But I literally was sitting here thanking God for growth because I remember like I really used to be stubborn, and in some areas I'm still like that, but not as bad as when I was younger. And when I'm talking about stubborn, it's like if I was set on something, whether I was right or wrong, I did not budge, and I had a really hard time with forgiving people. Whether somebody hurt me intentionally or unintentionally, I had a very hard time. I would hold a grudge. I would honestly try to seek revenge myself, if I'm being completely honest. Like, if I knew somebody went out their way to really hurt me, I wanted them to hurt the way I was hurting. I wanted them to feel the same pain I would feel. So I will hold on to this resentment and this hatred and this stubbornness, and I would really put all my energy into causing pain to somebody. And what I have realized, you do more damage than you think you do, right? So you think like, okay, well, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. This person hurt me, so let me get one up on them, let me hurt them back. But I promise you, it's never going to be an equal give and take. The way somebody hurts you, you're not going to be able to cause that amount of pain back to them. It's not going to work out the way you think it is. And that's when I had to realize, vengeance really is the Lord. Sometimes you have to sit there and put your hands behind your back and let God fight your battles, because no matter what you do, you're not going to get the results that you think you're going to get or what you're hoping to get. You know what I mean? Like, there's some things that God does equip us to be able to handle. And then there's some things, you literally have to walk away. You have to walk away because there's nothing that you can do that's going to serve you in a good way. There's nothing that you're going to do that's going to bring you good karma. You know what I mean? You're going to sit there and try to fight your own battles, which means you're going to have to deal with everything that comes along with it. And nobody can fight our battles like God. And yeah, I was just saying, thinking like, Dag, like, I thank God for growth, man, because I really did not play when it came to forgiving people. I used to feel like people they didn't deserve my forgiveness. Like, if you did something to me, like I said, I would be like this if it was intentional or unintentional, because you can hurt people unintentionally. But I'm talking about the people that I knew for sure went out their way, like that was their whole end goal, was to hurt me. I would really, really, really want bad stuff to happen to them. Or if it was something that I was able to do to them, I would feel like I would want to do that to them. Just being 100% and transparent. And I know that looking back, that's not good. You shouldn't have those thoughts. You should not have those feelings. But I'm learning. I grew from that mindset. So now when people, mess me over or do whatever, if God puts me in a position where I am able to defend myself verbally and handle a situation, then yeah, God already equipped me. But I know now when to walk away. I know when to shut my mouth. I know when the battle is too big for me to fight. And also another thing is the reason why I used to be really against forgiveness, and I would feel like I would want to hold a grudge, is because in my mind I would feel like me forgiving you is giving you the okay. It's basically letting you know that what you did to me was okay, and obviously it wasn't okay. It hurt me, so I would feel like I don't owe you forgiveness. You know what I mean? And that right there is not what forgiveness is about. It's about you not holding those feelings in and you trying to seek revenge. Vengeance is the Lord. There's not a tear that falls out of your eye that God has not seen. And anybody who hurts you intentionally, because he looks at the heart. And when people go out their way to hurt you intentionally, it does nothing but come back to them. Same thing with me. When I have went out my way to do something to somebody unintentionally, it did nothing but come back. You know what I mean? Like, if you will make your bed and you're going to lie in it. So it's important when people do you wrong to forgive them, not for them, for yourself, so that you're not walking around carrying all those, those feelings, that hatred. It takes a lot of energy to be mean, honestly. And this is coming from somebody who used to be mean. Like, it takes a lot of energy. The reason why it takes a lot of energy is because you're always on guard, right? You're always on point. Like, you're always looking for a problem. You're always looking for somebody to cross you. And then it's almost like you're always prepared to have a response, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really know how to put it. But like, you're always on edge, like you're just always looking for something. Somebody say something, somebody look a certain way. it's just like nothing is ever happy for you. That's a miserable place to be. And most likely when people are feeling like that, if it's anybody like myself, you feel like that because you've been hurt. Hurt and anger are one and two. You know, when people are mean, that 9 times out of 10, that's a person who was broken and hurt underneath it, and they covering up with their meanness, you know, that other side to them. But ultimately, people who are like that, they're hurt. They're broken. And they don't know how else to show their emotions besides put on the front and build up a wall so that other people do not continue to mess with them. That's what it really boils down to. Like, yeah. So forgiveness is not about letting the person know they got off scotch free. It's about you not having to carry those feelings internal, dealing with that internal, because believe it or not, stress, all that stuff can manifest into diseases. It can manifest into sicknesses, and you're gonna hurt yourself, you know. And also, you know, I can't forget it. We have to forgive. We have to forgive. God told us to forgive, and forgiving does not mean to reconnect. That's also another thing that I did not. I didn't really know that when I was younger. I would automatically associate, oh, me forgiving somebody, mean I had to allow that person to have contact with me. I had to keep that person in my life, and that is not true. I have learned over the years that you can forgive somebody and keep them out of your life forever. And also, what I have learned also is when I forgive somebody, I do not have to acknowledge and tell them that I forgive them. Now, I might be wrong by saying this, but I'm just, speaking my true feelings. Like, I don't owe you the satisfaction to tell you that I forgive you, because sometimes people just want to hear that they are forgiven because the guilt that they carry, you know, so they'll apologize in hopes that they'll hear, oh, I forgive you, just so that they don't feel so guilty for the wrong things they did. Me personally, I'm not going to give you that satisfaction. If you have hurt me and you were woman enough or man enough to come to me and apologize and tell me, that's a big, respect level, I guess, to some degree. But even if in that moment I still did forgive you, I'm not going to tell you. And I know that I can honestly say that because I have experienced this. I'm going through it. We're not going through it, but I just recently went through it like a few years ago. And yeah, I would be a liar if I said like, oh yeah, as soon as somebody tell me they apologize for what they did to me, I'm like, okay, you're forgiven. Nope. It still took a long time after they apologized for God to work on my heart. And then eventually I knew I forgave them when I could think about that person and not have bad thoughts. I knew I forgave them when I was able to think about them and still wish them well. Or I knew when I forgave them is when God gave me a glimpse into certain things they were experiencing in life. And I was not rejoicing about their downfall. I was not rejoicing about the pain that I was seeing. Anytime God has given me a glimpse in somebody's life when they have hurt me, I'm always seeing something that they're going through at that time that's affecting them in a negative way, right? When I've had those little moments, I almost felt sorry for them. Like, dang, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's messed up. And that's how I knew, like, I forgave that person. Those feelings was not in my heart anymore, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I just want to talk about that because, forgiveness is very important. Not only, like I said, for yourself, but it's the right thing to do. It's what Christ told us to do. But forgiveness does not mean reconnection.